The aim of this workshop is to prepare you for a nursing job interview, whether it's for the graduate programs or another employer. You will know how to prepare for an interview, know what questions are likely to be asked, and how you can answer interview questions effectively. Nursing employers invite you to an interview to assess your nursing skills and experience, as well as your personality and fit with their organisation. They also want to know why you have chosen their organisation to work with and how your career goals fit with what they have on offer. There are several important ways you can prepare for an interview. Applicants should research the organisation you're interviewing for. Not knowing about the organisation is one of the most common mistakes candidates make. Doing research will help you answer the interview questions like, why do you want to work for us, and what attracted you to our organisation? Another important step is to review the key selection criteria and your own application, as this gives clues as to the type of questions that will be asked. Make sure you are comfortable talking about your own skills and abilities, and have success stories committed to memory that is evidence of how you have demonstrated the required skills previously. Taking the time to practice interview questions out loud will help you feel less nervous on the day of your interview. Practicing will also help you feel more natural in your responses and less likely to forget when you are put on the spot. Finally, try to get a good night's sleep before your interview. Well-rested applicants are better able to concentrate, listen, and provide meaningful responses than applicants who are tired. Apart from the key selection criteria, nursing employers will be assessing you on some key themes of nursing practice. These are being interested in the patient's care and welfare, knowing when and where to seek guidance, displaying professionalism, demonstrating enthusiasm for the profession, and indicating a commitment to lifelong learning. Do not show up to an interview empty-handed. Ensure you have all the correct documentation, including your application, transcripts, clinical placement reports, referee reports, language proficiency reports, proof of identification, and any other information requested by the employer. In a behavioural interview, an employer has decided what skills are needed in the person they hire and will ask questions to find out if the candidate has those skills. The questions will focus on how you demonstrated key skills and abilities in your previous work or study, as this will predict how you perform on the job you are interviewing for. Answering behavioural-based questions takes practice, and it's important to have memorised some success stories you can use to demonstrate your abilities. The STAR technique is a useful way of structuring your success story response to a behavioural question. Like you would with any story you are telling, you need to outline the situation, what you had to do, how you did it, and the result of your actions. So listen carefully to the interviewer's question, be clear and detailed when you respond, and most importantly, keep in mind that your success stories need to be tailored to the job and relevant to the employer. Some examples of common behavioural questions are coming up next.
A specific example of how you've worked in a team.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example?
Yeah. So when I came to a group meeting one time, the group was unfocused and they were just mucking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I gently reminded them, why we're there,
Mm-hmm.
and I firmly took the position of leader.
Yep.
And I allocated personal and individual roles.
Yep.
Just to make sure that each group member had an equal workload,
mm-hmm.
but in saying that, we also had to get the task done and
mm-hmm.
completed.
Did you encounter any particular difficulties?
During the semester, as the project went over 13 weeks, one group member had been absent for a few weeks and no one had heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
So we tried to contact him through email,
right.
and before we took the final step of contacting the lecturer, he came into the university and told us that he'd been severely ill.
Mm-hmm.
And then we took course of action. Covering his workload, it was just split among more members of the group.
Oh, good.
And they were happy to just, let it slide that time.
And what was the outcome of the project?
Yeah, it was very well. The end result was really good. We ended up getting a 6 for the project.
Excellent.
And the group was very happy to work together again.
That's great. Provide an example of a situation that demonstrates your initiative and analytical skills in resolving a problem that achieved a good outcome.
When I started my role in an administration position,
mm-hmm.
There was no formal training process with the role because the role was quite new.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I saw a need to have a training manual because I was learning on the job with the assistance of my colleagues,
mm-hmm.
Supervisor and manager. I initiated putting together a training manual, just so that if I was absent and my immediate supervisor was absent, the role could be run by our colleagues. This manual had a troubleshooting guide, also had some email templates with commonly asked questions, and also just some general processes with the role. So basically the problem was that there wasn't a formal training manual, so putting that in place just solved a lot of problems.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a particular problem that it did resolve, that you might not have been there and the manual solved that problem?
Certainly. We have an issue with our scheme with mentors getting their ID cards. So basically there was just a step-by-step guide so that the people at the office could produce the ID cards for the mentors. Without having that guide, our colleagues wouldn't have known how to issue the card.
Excellent.
As well as behavioural-based questions, nursing employers will assess your clinical skills by getting you to answer hypothetical questions. These will centre on real-world situations like patient care, managing conflict, prioritising tasks on the ward, and working in a multidisciplinary health team. As mentioned before, one of the best ways to do well in an interview is to practice. You can book a mock interview session with a UWS careers consultant at your local campus or practice with other nursing students.